be something you want me to cook for you next time you come stay the night, because I have pork chops in the freezer. I can totally do that. I just have to have a
I
heads
def
up to thaw them out.
I definitely don't want that because I don't like pork.
You know what? Fair.
What I want to do next time I come over is do that stir fry thing we were talking about.
Also fair. Okay, we are officially going. We're officially live. I'm gonna start link bombing. Because I actually
So for,
remembered to do it before session. Make the link. I
for as
remembered.
much as I do enjoy a burger, my heart do lie in the veggie.
That is completely fair. I mean, I were it not for the fact that, certain meats are ultra super tasty, I could probably be a vegetarian. Not a vegan, because there are certain things that I like too much to give up for that. But,
Honey.
vegetarian I could do.
One of these days, vegans are going to add honey to their roster of things they can eat.
They're working. They're like, legit, there are vegans who are arguing for honey to be considered vegan.
It's one of the only collected animal products that doesn't result in an industry that does in fact harm the animal.
E.
Because we've bred bees over the entire existence of how long we've had them to overproduce honey to the point of potentially drowning themselves in an area where they can get enough nectar.
Yeah, so it's can sometimes actually be beneficial to them to take the excess.
Yeah.
Plus, honey's just delicious, so.
It's also just because bees by nature are very delicate creatures.
Mm-hmm.
It would It's kind of odd, but it is simultaneously both because and not because of it's because of humans that they are both dying out and are still alive.
Specifically honeybees.
Yeah. Specifically nature's greatest pollinator.
Yes,
Because
and always support your local beekeeper.
Yee.
even if you don't like honey like me, because I
Support the
really
bee.
don't. Alright, is leak bombs good and ready?
Yeah, I was actually able to take care of it in the time I was just chatting about honey and bees.
Then
Yeah.
let's do this! Introduce yourself.
I am me.
I'm sure it's the jukebox playing any music for some reason.
It's being
Get that
testy.
clockwork. No, I must have ended it at the end of the last session.
Possibly.
Probably because we had music change due to what happened last time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
hello everybody. I'm Armored Hunter, and things are interesting. Things are very interesting,
Yeah.
and I'll just leave it at that.
I'm gonna cause you trauma.
No.
It's D&D. What else is new? Hello, everybody. I am the Janny Boop. Last session definitely was interesting. And apologies ahead of time if anybody on stream hears me hiccuping. I got hiccups right before stream, and it's still unclear of if they're gone or not.
Yes.
I are Failtrolls, and Failsy is scheming.
When is she not? legitimately, like, when is she not scheming? It seems like it's always.
I have many irons in the fire.
I am Mythosia. Brimstone is still tired. And now has a name for what they're going to face. And it's from his dad.
Yeah.
His favorite person.
Yeah, that man he wishes to slap into death.
Why?
Just a little death.
Why?
A little
why
death.
would he do that?
Brimstone can have a little death as a treat.
And Araxes has done nothing wrong. Ever.
It's a shame Brimstone isn't a ranger.
Isn't a what? A ranger?
A ranger.
Favorite enemy, Dad.
Yeah, not devils. Dad.
He can hunt all dads.
No. Anyways.
I'm just thinking about having that as actually be a favorite enemy now. How do you explain that?
Well, I was thinking more of foregoing, like, in general devils and just, no, this one. My favorite enemy is this one individual.
Yeah, it's more of a thing of being a revenant, maybe. But fair enough. Well, on to the next person, which... Speaking of
yes.
devils... Excuse me,
Yes,
everyone.
unleash them.
That
I'm
one isn't
drinking soda.
mine.
Anyways. Hello, everyone. I'm Ash, the DM. Last session was pretty interesting. Lots of lore. And... frankly, I'm interested to see where everyone goes from here. But, without further ado, last time on the Scattered Realms. Session 60, I think is correct. It was session 60, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Thought so. For some reason I wasn't certain, though. Our band of intrepid adventurers, Juvinche, the human spelldancer, Morrigan, the hexblade warlock, Failsy, the sorcerer, and Brimstone, the man who remembers some things. The party was locked in clockwork combat as blades whirled and spun around the rooms. Strange, mystical sigils bound them and set tormented spirits to assail them as they attempted to find a way to put an end to this assault. Spirits quelled, though strangely a few stayed around Morrigan. The party started to make their way to the room's exit. And then Failsy pulled a Failsy, and accidentally a secret. A few slashes were dealt in its unraveling, but upon aligning the hands around the room to true midnight, they receded into the central pillar and revealed the tower's sole intended resident, the Merchant of Necessity, who revealed a great deal to the party and caused them an equally great deal of concern. Now, with the blessing of necessity, they make their way further into the depths of the tower, hoping to put an end to what lies ahead of them. So we are picking up from where we left off last time, as you all have said your goodbyes to necessity. And the little entity of itself has crawled back into the central vat that is in the middle of this chamber. The way ahead of you is open. As well as a side passage that opened up that none of you took notice of before, due to the intensity of this previous situation.
Yeah.
That was Interesting.
Yeah.
Too heavy. I don't like it.
That's one way to put it. Brimstone, how are you holding up?
I guess it makes sense why all these hellwasps are here then, if something that he sent is here. I'm just wondering why the fuck it is.
I'm sorry.
Brimstone just kind of motions towards where necessity was and just. They said that whatever was here was sent by Ataraxes. I'm just wondering why.
Please remind me, has Dravinci heard of Ataraxes before last session?
Has anyone?
No. I think the only person who knows vaguely about it would have been Keta and Morrigan.
Peto would have known more. Morrigan has recently been informed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a little bit. She's known about it for a little bit longer than the rest of the party, but it's still pretty new information for all of you.
Yeah, like Morgan's got maybe just a few extra days ahead of everyone else on knowing this.
Yeah.
Mr. Page,
Oh.
who died?
A couple of weeks, because you guys had that discussion a while back.
Yeah, it was right before the... Oh, by the way, this key does this at the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of days.
Yeah,
Because we
in-game
haven't
a
been
few
here that long.
days.
Yeah.
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 Is when they had their talk.
Right.
Yes, but Belzy asked who dat?
Brimstone just kind of walked closer and just. Ataraxes is my father. I don't specifically know what he is. I know he can look like us, well, like me, for the most part. All I know is that he's powerful and he ain't human, or probably mortal, even.
Obliviously. Well, I'm sure he's very proud of you.
Maybe. Apparently, I'm the oldest one of his children. For some fucking reason.
How are you the oldest?
Probably because he's killed every other one before me.
Oh. Guess that makes family reunions awkward.
I suppose that the times that Ataraxes has appeared, he's opted to use his true form to beat the shit out of Brimstone, yes?
You've seen his true form once, and that was in the event where he tore off your arm. Every other time he appeared in his tiefling guise.
Okay. But I've seen it at least once, so I could replicate it with minor illusion.
Obviously not the actual size of, but you have seen the hulking green form of whatever he is.
Yeah. Yeah, so Brimstone just kind of... I don't know. You guys are more knowledgeable about magic and shit. And he kind of closes his eyes and performs the gestures to conjure minor illusion. And basically floating above his hand is a large green scaled form with horns kind of similar in pattern to how brimstones are, but much larger. And instead of like black bone, it's more of like burning iron.
Has Failsy ever read about anything like this?
Most of your reading has had to deal with aberration and some infernal. You can make a history check, though the DC is pretty high.
Grandpa!
Oh, shit.
Failsy, I'm gonna need you to not. Why you always do, Failsy? Why you always do?
Because Roll20
Wait a
loves
second.
fail trolls.
It really does.
Failsy,
You wonder-
chaotic swirling mess of knowledge.
Just the chaos that is fail trolls, Failsy. But anyways,
You just happened to find the one book in the entire library that had any information.
I mean,
well,
yeah,
even
just
with a natural 20,
doesn't mean there's much.
even
Actually,
with a natural 20, that would be getting you to a total of 26.
Wait, isn't my
You,
spell book from him? The one I use as reference for some of my spells?
Oh.
which one?
Uh,
You have so many spell books at this point, Failsy. You have notes from him.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Wait, did you?
The-
I'm trying to remember what you mean by that. Do you mean
The spell book that we encountered that was from him was when we got class shifted, because that's the spell book that Brimstone had.
Yeah, you don't have that.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore because that was a construct in a dream.
Work we were making for Failsy's less than good spells.
Oh.
Oh,
I
do you
mean-
mean the... No, those spells are made by the Yuan-Ti.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I don't have a reason why Failsy knows so much about Ataraxes.
I
Well, it's
mean,
mostly just because you've studied Old Tome.
and I mean, it
So-
might not be much.
You don't know anything about an entity called Ataraxes. But you have seen in an ancient tome that you found in a ruin in the Flagora Desert a depiction of a creature similar to that.
Ooh, I think I've seen that one before.
Most of the information about it was ruined, but from what you could decipher from the text, it was described as one of the most powerful... I hate when I get tongue-tied. One of the most powerful devils one could encounter while traveling the Hells. It's bizarre because you don't know... You were never able to find reference to what it was meant when they said the Hells.
I'm assuming it's a country, like some province of the.
Yeah.
I forget what the wild continent.
It's called the Wild Continent. It's
Yeah.
sometimes also just called Magisteria. Just like how the continent of Graynum does actually have a name, but no one calls it that. People just call it Graynum.
Searching through the maps, I couldn't find it, so I just assumed it was a unmapped region of the wild continent called
Yeah.
Hells.
Yeah, you also know that a lot of if it were in Magisteria apparently changes constantly. And you also know that a lot of the ruins you would find in the Flagora Desert are from civilizations that existed before the Advent. So it's hard to say whether or not it was a place and it doesn't exist anymore, or if it still exists, maybe.
Ooh, classification devil.
You're
Hails
also
to the-
confused about... There's also constant references to things called devils and demons, but you don't know why there's a distinction.
I just assume it's a taxonomic reason. Kind of like how you
Yeah.
can get bears, cats, and dogs, and some of them are related taxonomically.
Yeah. I'm just mentioning that because it mentions very specifically that it was a devil, not just a fiend like they're called nowadays.
Evolution. There's the answer.
Yeah. But specifically what you get for the 26 is that it is, in the reading you found, it is considered to be one of the most powerful of the devils that one could encounter. They are frighteningly intelligent. What else would you get for that? Because this was a really high DC. We technically just barely met it. You would have needed to roll either a 19 or a 20 on the die even to hit it.
Makes sense.
I mean, honestly, for a natural 20, that's about all you'd get. There just wasn't much recorded on them. They're shockingly... Oh, you'd also know that they were just colloquially referred to as pit fiends.
It's not a very scientific name. Also, why was it called a fiend if it's a devil?
You're not sure. Most of the writing was inconclusive and also had blood on it. Like old, dried blood that had turned the paper brown.
Like the picture that the image depicted was like as it was going to like crush whoever was writing it. So it's like mostly good, and then like the hand is like very inconclusively drawn because it's crushing the skull.
Yeah. That is unfortunately all I can give you, even for a natural 20. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I've seen that one before. It's
Where?
Pit fiend, I think. I was in a dusty ruin in the middle of the desert. I could never show you where it was because I think the sand dunes have covered it up again.
You remember, it collapsed. You had to escape it. You, like, pulled too many books off a shelf. It started collapsing. Jamel had to dig you out of the dirt. You almost died. Normal failsy habits.
I did.
Elsie almost dying is like a once a week occurrence.
Jamel's heart is luckily very strong.
Same with her muscles.
Equally strong. Listen, the heart's just a muscle. Jamel's strong in all of her muscles.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
And equally strong and equally dedicated to saving Failsy out of the message she makes for herself.
But as a result, we got new books. So it's all good.
The power of big wife energy.
Yep. Distinctly, Failsy, the one he's showing you does not look like the one that was depicted in that book, but it's similar enough to force forth that memory.
Looks a little scrawnier than the one in the picture I saw. So I guess
Okay, you only saw a picture of it.
yeah, it was in an old dusty book. I see lots of things about in books. Many things.
You do read an
That's
awful
just
lot, so I'm
relevant.
not surprised.
Failsy's eyes just gloss over in like a combination of ecstasy and horror at the same time. It's like, oh yes, but also, oh no.
The amount of times she's dug up an ancient tome from the desert and it's turned into just some weird fetish porn.
Yeah, yeah. It's just another iteration of the Kama Sutra. This one for centaurs.
Hi. Right.
Well, is there any more information you can call about it?
The book was rather damaged. You know, whoever was reading it last decided to spill all their blood on it, but apparently they're classified as devils, and they reside in an ancient place called the Hells. Can't find
Where
it on
would
maps,
that be?
but it's either long gone or somewhere in Magisteria that can't be mapped.
Because I've forgotten, but Brimstone would remember. The memory that he saw of Ataraxi sacrificing a bunch of tieflings, was the Hellmouth clearly visible in that memory, or was it...
In that memory, specifically what you saw was Ataraxi standing on the top of the frozen Hellmouth.
Right.
And casting some kind of spell.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in view, and it was still frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And per what you've learned in kind of relatively recent times, you would know that that was him doing whatever magical ritual opened the Hellmouth.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if it exists anymore, but...
There is also that strange coincidence that it's called the Hellmouth, and you're talking about a place called the Hells.
Mm-hmm. Back in the Mountain of Reflection, I saw a vision or a memory of something. Casting a ritual, and that apparently opened the Hellmouth.
Wait,
Which now seems all too convenient of a name.
and wait a second. Wasn't the Hellmouth opened when Altia crashed into it?
You killed a lot of people to perform that ritual. I don't know how many, I'm not good with numbers necessarily, but it was a lot.
So this Ataraxes is also the reason why Altia was originally brought here?
He's been around since before the Hellmouth was... Since the Hellmouth was still frozen. Hell, he might have been here when Corvanus was around.
I wonder. There's... This might be just an abstract idea. But what if he and Ignesia have some kind of connection?
I don't know about that.
Anything's possible, really.
Anything's possible, but I don't know if he'd have any real connection with any of the gods. I'd imagine the things that he does would be reprehensible even to any of them.
The reason why I ask is I recently came into some new information that apparently there are worlds, realms. The entire thought is still complicated and I can't really wrap my head around it, but there's supposedly a place that is entirely made of fire that was created by Agnesia, but I was told that it was under different management.
Uh-huh.
If this place of fire is potentially connected to Agnesia and to the Hellmouth,
Then what? You think my father took it from her?
possibly.
That seems like
I mean,
all
yes.
it's all abstract thinking and a lot of stuff that I still have absolutely no idea about. To But all I know is that apparently there's another place like it that is made of clockwork, and that's where Altia was originally from.
I don't want to think about the fact that my father is potentially powerful enough to rip a god out of her own home plane. Or world, or whatever this is.
I think for right now we have to focus on why we're here in this
Yeah.
specific place.
Brimstone,
Mm.
your illusion is looking at you.
Going to try to get rid of it.
It's still there. Still staring at you.
Damn it.
What?
Something the matter?
He's just like staring at it with like violent intent.
You just watch as a slow smile creeps across its face, and then it finally dispels.
Is there something to be concerned about?
Should have known better than to make a depiction of my own father. Fuck. I don't know. Entirely possible. Even a minor manifestation draws his attention, I guess. It was fucking looking at me.
Ugh.
Oh,
Then again, this thing, Morezi, I think is what it. This thing's related to it. He might have some vision in here, anyways. He might already know that we're here. I don't know. Then again, just kind of looks to his arm. I don't think there's ever a point where he's not at least aware of where I am. I don't know. Right now is probably not the good time to be thinking about this. We need to be thinking about how we're going to get down further.
well, there is a way forward, but I also have the question of do Velzy, you and Brimstone both took some heavy hits. Would it be best if we were to rest for a moment? That seems safe for a safe place for now.
I mean, I guess it's possible. I just don't know if we have the time.
Yeah,
For all we know, my little thing, might have tipped him off, and he's going to tip that thing off, and he'll be trying to hunt us or set up traps. I don't know what this thing does. I mean, all we know is what necessity told us. Something about being able to disguise itself as a body or something.
Yes, so if we end up running across any people in here, take it with a significant grain of salt.
I'll take it with a whole goddamn shaker, man. Ugh.
We
Yeah,
can
a rest would
we
give
can
you a
keep
chance.
moving, but we have to make sure we're not too weak before whatever this thing we encounter is.
I mean, I guess while we're up here, it might not be able to come up. I mean, for all we know, there might be another drop, and it might not be able to make it up there. The closer we get to it, the more likely it's going to be to discover us. So I guess if we're going to take one, we should do it now. While we're still relatively aware of things that are happening.
Yeah.
The further down we go, the more our risks increase. Not plus, I mean, yeah, we have healing potions, but we should probably save those for when we're really in need of them.
Interesting situation you find yourself in, Burnstone.
What was that?
Only Brimstone hears that.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Is it like ascending, or is it like something I audibly hear?
It would be more akin to ascending. You hear it, but you know from the fact that no one else reacts to it that only you heard it.
Yeah. So, it's an unconscious switch to infernal, but just. What do you want?
Just like to know where you are.
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time? I didn't quite catch it.
Just like to know where you are.
I don't know why you're saying that like you can't find out yourself.
Just have an eye. But I can't seem to find you right. So I'm most curious.
You might need to. Ash, you might need to speak up a little louder. You keep kind of going in and out.
Yeah.
Alright, this is also relying on my actual headset mic.
Yeah, I know.
I think so, at least. Let me check that real quick. Oh no, it's relying on my snowballs. I'll just move closer to my microphone. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I thought it was
it's
just through my headset.
it's just a little wavy. Like I'm catching most of it, but
Also, voice mods are freaky.
yeah,
I'll try to make it better. Sorry about that.
that's all good.
Did you understand what I said that time?
A little bit, like for the most part, but I think I missed a couple keywords.
Strangest thing. It's on you.
You're
Right
roboting
now
out.
I can't.
If it's not one bloody thing, it's another.
Yeah, I know. It's
Oh well,
But-
I just won't use the voice mod right now because apparently it's being a dick.
basically he can't seem to locate me.
Yep.
And it's weird because usually he
Yes.
can.
He can normally keep his eyes on you, but for some reason right now he can't seem to find you.
Right. Because you're watching over me because you care.
Work this time.
It's always watching. Investment. You'll never receive a return otherwise. Ask you one more time, boy. Where are you?
I don't know if you're not responding because you didn't hear any of that, or because
No,
you're thinking.
I understood. I'm just
Okay, sorry.
trying to
I have
think
make
of
sure.
a response.
Sorry,
No,
I
I
just
know.
have to make sure.
No, that's fine. Just... Clock tower. About to go kill something that I think is yours, and while I get the distinct feeling it's not gonna hurt you as much as you hurt me, it's gonna feel really goddamn good to pay you back just a little what you've done.
Forward to seeing if you win.
Brimstone, you can almost feel as this weight you didn't realize was on you suddenly lifts. And everyone else, as Brimstone suddenly just stopped in his tracks, you all saw as the brand on his arm suddenly started glowing brighter and brighter and brighter. Until now, it's finally starting to dull again.
What just happened?
Unconsciously, while he was having this conversation, his face just continued to darken, so he looks like he's about to kill someone. Just. Taking this fucking long to talk to me. All he wants to do is fucking taunt me. Like he doesn't know where the fuck I am. Says he can't find me. No, that's bullshit.
Maybe taking a moment to rest is a good idea, because gonna need a clear head going into what we go into next, and I don't know how you're responding to that, but taking a moment to calm down would probably be good.
Brimstone looks like he's going to say something and just... Yeah. No, you're probably right.
On the plus side, if he can't see where you are, then that at least means that he won't be able to identify exactly where we are in the clock tower, or even which clock tower. If you told them where we were, that is.
Specifically, but I don't imagine he has a minion in every clock tower in the world. Well, he may not be able to trace me exactly. I'm sure he can trace his minions with pinpoint precision. Just frustrating that it seems like at every point he has some hand in fucking everything.
Your dad's got some pretty meaty hands. Referring to the little illusion he made. Those are meaty hands.
Yeah.
Let's probably not think about Brimstone's dad's meaty hands.
Yeah, it
Let's
feels
get
real
some
good when
rest.
he's trying to rip your fucking throat out. Trust me, I know.
So you all gonna try to set up to take a rest?
Yeah.
Alright, so
Yeah.
how are you all wanting to do that? You're in this room currently that's rotating, slightly singed with magical energies and electricity, and very bloodstained.
Would it be better if we went back to like this room down here? Like seems less, more stable. The one where Felsi was teleported out of.
We'd have to cross past the lightning gear.
Oh,
Either way, we'd have to cross past either lightning gear or the blade gear.
didn't you?
Well, we'd have to do.
I wasn't
Yeah.
Morgan keen on jumping onto this little doodad.
Yeah. I guess that would put us in a
Whoever-
better position, too.
Whoever jumps is going to have to risk injury. Probably, like, we could check her in. We could squeeze ourselves into this little hallway over here. Gives us an idea of what's gives us potentially an idea of what's up ahead and reduces the areas where we can be surprise attacked down from below, above, and 3 entry points down to just 2.
Well, let's go have a look then.
Alright. So, making your way over there. Testing that door, Da Vinci, you do find it to not be locked. It's got one of those,
Okay.
like you've seen on other doors in this place. The door handle is, or the handle itself for the door is inset into the door, and more akin to like a pull lever than an actual handle.
Okay, once we're ready to head out, we all we have to do is just open this door.
All right.
Another point of order, this is the first door you've seen that has a window on it.
Ew. Can Da Vinci look through the window?
Make me a perception check with disadvantage because dark.
Yeah, and he's not going to be lighting a torch or anything.
And Da Vinci doesn't have demon eyes.
6.
There's a little bit of light in that room, but not enough for you to get a clear image of anything. You can see that there is a wall not too far away from the doorway. You swear you see something in the room that you can't make out what it is. It almost looks like a person, but it's not moving.
As the others approach, Dravinci is not going to not going to say anything, but he's going to like gesture, keep quiet. So like do the whole like lower your hand down, point to the door, and move his two fingers back and forth like a person walking. And
It's not walking, it's not moving.
more to indicate that there is a person there.
Okay, just making sure that's clarified.
Yeah, I don't know what would be the hand gesture for their human. No, but then kind of points to the two or all three of them. And under his breath just goes, "How do you look?"
I think I might have the best chance at seeing things in the dark. Of the three of us who can already see in the dark. Okay, I mean...
Probably.
In-game way of saying, devil's side, I have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then Dravinci is just going to sit down against the wall over here.
Alright. I'll just... hang on, let me do that. I hold Alt and then move, right?
Yeah.
I did it.
Oh, it failed me. These little things are still following Morgan.
Just sort of watching in the interest, like, should I just pick these off, or...
Go ahead and make a perception check, Morgan.
Okay. I clicked it. 4.
Well, you're beginning to understand why Dravinci couldn't see much. The room beyond this actually doesn't appear to be that dark. I mean, your opinions of what is dark and what is not is a little skewed, given the fact you do have dark vision and better dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
But you do note that this window you're trying to look through, the inside of it is smeared with something that is somewhat transparent, but is definitely obfuscating the viewport.
There's something on the window itself that's making it hard to see into it. Sorry.
But yeah. You can still see... You can make out the figure that Dravinci is pointing out. It's something leaning against that far wall.
Yeah, after saying that, she'll just crouch down to where she would not be in line of sight of the window.
Not that hard to do.
Yeah.
The window's probably at right around the 6-foot region of the door.
Definitely
It's
saw
not terribly big either.
Yeah. I definitely saw something in there, but there's something smeared on that window that makes it hard to see in there. make out who or what it was. So I guess we just recoup a bit and then we go in there and see what we can do.
Is that Joel's plan?
Yeah, it's probably another deadly trap in there.
Yeah.
Might as well just during the watch occasionally have someone look to see if anything's changed or that figure has moved.
Alright. So, how are you guys going to situate yourselves in that little corridor? Ah, yes, Brimstone's going to phase into the wall.
Yep.
Just no clips.
Bailsy just lay on top of where
Necessities.
Necessity's sleeping.
And not really that surprising for Filsy, to be honest.
She might peruse the spell book to actually learn what's actually in there.
Alright then. It's not in a language you immediately understand, but because you're taking a rest, it's not very hard to cast Comprehend Language. You can just read through it because it is in Elvish.
God damn it, why did I have to use such an overabundance of cursive? It's like fetishized cursive.
Alright. So, while you guys are taking your short rest, is there anything you'd like to do? I know of one thing that wants to be done, but I'm asking everyone in general.
Da Vinci would ask Bailsy to identify the dagger he found.
Oh yeah, sure. Does her little ritual.
You do your little ritual. You identify it as a flame-tongue dagger. At least that is the magic you identify on it.
The little Bernie dagger. I'll relay. I guess I'll relay what the command word is, or he can just set his own.
The command word is Tempia.
Tempia. You just ignite the sword. Ignite the little dagger.
You're not attuned to it, so you can't do that.
Oh. Damn it. Yeah, you attune to it and figure it out.
Okay, and then I'll spend the rest of the short rest to tuning to that.
Alright.
Are we doing
Not hard to do. You just give it a... You just... assuming a short rest.
Okay.
You don't know how good of an idea it would be to sleep in here.
That's fair. Just double checking if it was a short or long rest, whether or not I get spell slots back.
No, this would be a short rest, unless you all want to try to push for a long rest.
No.
I'm gonna have to roll some
No,
stuff
thank
if you
you.
do.
And it's probably a good idea I read through this spell book so I have some extra spells because I'm kind of low on spell slots.
I actually do, in fact, still have to roll for something, but it's a much lower chance. Yeah, it's fine.
Like, oh no, you got caught by the wasps. One of you are missing now.
Stab, shank, pierce. Alright, so yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and spend some hit dice, you managed to be undetected during your short rest.
Okay, and where is my core? There it is. Hit die. Still have a couple hit die, so 9. Almost have up to full.
Okay, goes. And Failsy. We wanted to do the thing.
Belzy wants to try and do a thing because she's been scheming.
Alright. So, tell me of your scheme.
During the rest, Belzy will slide off the top of the container that contains the necessity and give it and start knocking.
Right.
Don't know if she needs to
Give-
pull out the crowbar again and give it a bonk.
You don't think that'll be necessary. You knock on it a few times. This sound not being heard by your companions, one due to the distance between you and the fact that, well, inside this clock tower, there's actually a pretty decent amount of noise from the sounds of all of the moving clockwork around you.
Damn, how do you sleep
Huh.
here?
But you knock on it a few times, and eventually you do see some of that blackness pull together out of the mass. You don't see the mask itself, and the lid of the container doesn't open, but you get the sense that you've gotten its attention.
I needs have changed, and I kind of want to do a deal with you.
You don't hear any vocal response, though you get the sense you can probably continue.
Sorry, what was that? Should I continue with talking to her, or
Yeah. You
wait?
don't get any vocal response, but you have the sense that you can continue.
All right then. I have a future that I want to trade with you. A future for a future. She'll pull out the iron flask. This is my future for an easy life. The being this is connected to can give me an infinite source of ancient knowledge, as well as a ready supply of power for when I need it. For both revenge and future knowledge. I need to trade this away for another future. Someone else's future. For that, I need something akin to a wish scroll. Very ancient and powerful scroll. Something that Felsy's only ever read about. Something that very powerful wizards can make. And then she's had lots of dreams about what she could do with such a thing.
I'll say this. The concept of the spell Wish is not something that is really understood by arcane practitioners in this world.
Okay.
It's something that Failsy would have knowledge of due to her study of the old worlds. Even if she's not necessarily recognizing them as such. She just thinks they're lands that are erased from history. But the spell Wish is, was, and likely always be known as the most powerful spell that a mortal can perform. And doing so could even cause said mortal to pass. It is always a gambit to pull on such power. You just hear very gently, not even without the same resounding effect the voice had before. Future. I cannot trade a future. What is to come is not my domain. But I am curious. Why?
Because I called dibs on fate. And if I don't like what fate is, I will demand it change.
No wonder Entropy is so curious about you. For the future to change, that would be his domain. And his deals often are even heavier than mine.
Are you so sure about that? You deal in the present, don't you?
I deal in what is needed. To see the future as it is set, sought out, and completed. I cannot change the path that you are on. Merely help you along the way.
Well, my future's not so set in stone, but things that I can see, possibilities. I do wish to trade away such possibilities for someone else's possible futures.
Whose futures would you seek?
That of a more benevolent, chaotic nature.
I'm afraid I do not understand.
If you don't deal in futures, do you need to know whose?
I do find myself curious. change the future, one must bet one's soul on a game waged by an unfair ruler. That is Entropy's way. I am curious what you would have such a heavy bet for.
I want to make a... Because I do not like it when fate demands someone's death.
Are you asking this for me?
Pretty much, yes.
I appreciate your thoughts, but do not lose your soul for one without. Please go forward and complete your task.
Yet. That means the world is devoid of a little chaos. Nice chaos. I like that chaos. You show up and disrupt natural order by providing people who need it that little leg up.
Perhaps, but much is taken in return. After all trades must be equal. Interesting. Very interesting. You can almost feel as this entity, though without a face, even the strange facsimile of one you know, almost seems to get a far-off look in its expression. I cannot tell you how or why, but the future does bend. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can give you that will aid you. You already have what you need for the goal you seek.
I have a lot of goals. Could you narrow it down? Or do you just mean to fight off whatever's at the end of this tower?
I suppose you'll have to see what the future holds. You all feel as the clock tower makes a single resonant bong, signifying that an hour has passed. You've managed to patch yourselves up for the most part, and Dravinche, you feel as the magics that flow within your body link themselves to that within that blade. Right?
Everyone good?
I think I'm as ready as I'll be.
Any activity in that room?
It's Brimstone, you were the only one to not make a check yet. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
And what were you about to say, Morgan?
I was gonna say I could check again, but you already had Brimstone do so, so never mind.
I'm sorry. He was
I
just the only
don't-
one that hadn't rolled yet, so it seemed appropriate.
I don't think I see anything more than what Mornigan saw.
Brimstone, the only thing that you really note is the fact that that stuff that's against that window is dried blood. That's kind of the thing that immediately makes you stop and pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's more of Brimstone, a little more concerned about that, doesn't notice anything else. He notices the forest, but not the trees. Just
Exactly. Yeah, you immediately take notice that the inside of this window appears to have been splashed and is now currently muddied with ruddy brown blood.
I mean, yeah, Morgan can see better in the dark than I can, but I don't think either one of us can really see very well through dried blood.
Oh, that's what's obscuring the window, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that it's dried blood, considering we know some of what's happened here.
Yeah.
But whether that's a matter of something in there that caused that, or someone walking through, bleeding out, I don't.
Either way, we
it's
go
not-
forward with caution.
It's not like it's a handprint dragged across. It looks more blood splat. But yeah, I don't see anything in there.
Fair enough.
Bales, you ready to go?
Yeah, fails will bid necessity farewell, with a warning that if she doesn't like what fate gives her, she's going to come back.
You get no response.
And we'll come back over to party.
Alright.
Okay, so
Again,
is this door locked?
no. Again, like I said before, the door does not appear to be locked.
Ash was asking the party because
Mm.
it's been an hour. The
No,
door-
it's not, but we can't really see through what's on the window.
Oh yeah, because an hour passed, fails, you can no longer see these.
Good. She was wondering if she needed to blast them into next century.
I mean, you could assume they're still there, you just can't see them anymore.
Morrigan could probably still ever so slightly feel that presence.
Yeah.
Just because of spooky sword lady.
Yeah, you could definitely feel spooky swordness around you. It's not scary or menacing, it's just kind of there.
Like they're more curious than anything.
Kinda. It's hard to tell because you can't know any. You can't witness an expression or try to read an emotion from just how they're positioned because you can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
You just know that something's watching you, but you don't feel malice.
Well, if it doesn't feel malicious and it's not trying to impede her, she's just going to let it be.
All right. Yeah, Failsy, you go up to the door, test the handle.
Just gonna smush her face into the porthole.
All right, make a perception check.
Arrow? Where's my buttons? I'm on the wrong page.
We'll get on the right page.
Perception.
Failsy,
can't see shit.
you pressed your eyes so hard against the door that they reactively closed. And you think you might have dust in your eyeballs now.
Yeah. Looks clear. He opens the door.
Uh,
She just flails and slaps the door handle, and you all can hear as it pressure releases. Just that distinct
yeah.
sound.
Now seems like a good time to take our break.
Yeah, I'm gonna reveal the room, and then we'll take break.
Okay. Coo. Oop, too much. I'm just trying to get the map centered on my screen so that it looks nice on stream for when the reveal
Fair enough.
happens.
Polygon reveal is a useful tool, but it's kinda hard to use. And I'll describe this when we get back. What break time, people?
Yee.
Oh my.
No.
Everybody go use the washroom.
It feels like
the longest route.
You didn't take the longest route. Some of these doors weren't open previously. This place is designed so that as you're going through different areas, doors in previous chambers might open depending on what you do in the current chamber, or they might not.
And also, even though it was the path, the longest path, it was also the path of the most goodies.
Yeah.
Now Da Vinci has a hot poker.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not very useful in the current situation, but useful in the future.
Yep.
Flame Tongue is a very powerful ability. Be glad
Yes,
that it
and-
wasn't the other one that it could have been, which would have been a Dagger of Venom. It was going to be a dagger that dealt elemental damage. But yeah, just get the Dagger of Venom. You know, the dagger of the most resisted damage type in all of D&D.
That requires a Constitution save, which a lot of creatures are good at with Constitution.
Yep. You know. So all in all, you got the better of the two items, probably. Fire is the second most resisted damage type in D&D, I'm pretty sure.
It's still a magic. It's still a magic weapon, which means that that he can better deal with stuff that resists non-magical weapons.
To be fair, you could. He had a magic scimitar this whole time.
Yes. But he likes to go with the smack smack.
Yeah.
Anyway, be right back.
Yep.
Oh, actually, before I go,
What?
just Failsy, I don't know what to say. I like the cut of your jib. That is all.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is you're asking about something to change the future, and necessity can't change the future.
Phelps was trying to put it in the value of, this is a future for a future, not like, so it sounded like a item worth the same.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, if necessity could trade the future, there'd definitely be a chance of it. But necessity can't trade the future. They can only trade things that affect the present, and they can't change the current path towards the future. Only entropy can change that.
As all things tend towards it.
Yep. And entropy, as you all know, is a terrifying and fickle bitch.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean!
Brimstone is intimately aware of what you mean. He's had to deal with the fucker 3 times. Well, 2.5.
More than the rest of the party. And
Yes.
on every occasion with the party. Because it's been more than once. Like,
Brimstone's had 3 encounters. I think he had one before everything else.
I mean, during the war, everyone had encounters with entropy at some point or another.
Yeah, but I think only he and Redemption survived.
Yeah. You got pulled into a situation with your entire battalion, and only you two came out alive.
Uh-huh.
Why am I picturing it? It wasn't like a massive war type thing. It was just they all got pulled into a game show.
I was picturing it's like Wipeout, but deadly.
The Wipeout but deadly is accurate.
That's pretty much what I was picturing it as. Just like, you fall into the water, but it's actually sulfuric acid.
Does anyone know the anime Dead Man Wonderland? The theme park portion of that anime is essentially what his squad got put through.
Or I guess a better way to put that would be like a Takeshi's Castle.
I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like Japanese Wipeout. But like they have things like paper mache boulder runs and shit like that.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Okay,
not
that's the
paper
thing
mache.
that in America got called bonsai.
Probably. But yeah, I think that's probably a better way to put it than a Wipeout. Like things that are actually would be dangerous if they weren't made of foam.
I mean, the Takeshi's Castle, people still got hurt. A lot.
Well, yeah, but like in this case, it's like it's not just like, oh, this boulder will knock you on your ass, but it won't kill you. It's like, no, this is a whole ass boulder. If you get hit by this, you are paced.
Yeah. Unless you're Redemption, and then you probably just have a broken arm.
Probably. I don't imagine they got out of that unscathed.
No.
Picturing many soldiers opted for like a less violent game and ended up on like a Jeopardy situation.
If you get a question, but if you get a question wrong, he gives you a choice.
Yeah, you think entropy gives you a choice in what he decide what you do?
Nah, he chooses for you, and you gotta like it. And if you don't like it, good.
Well, if you don't like it, that's not fun. Get out of his house. By the way, outside of his house is the vacuum of space. Have fun time exploding.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Brimstone is just like, I hate this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Because I've seen the alternative, and I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Which for the second time was just like, god damn it. And the third time was just like,
Yeah, after seeing some of the other soldiers try to walk away and just have their bodies suddenly half eviscerated.
yeah, just, nah.
Yeah, you realize it's not an option, no matter how much you want it to be.
I guess I have to run the fucking gauntlet.
Entropy is such a weird character, and I can't wait to delve into them further.
God.
Yeah, Failsy failed her scheme, sadly.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I didn't
fine.
want to say no to you outright, but what you'd asked me previously wasn't something that necessity can do.
Fair, but she'd only known necessity for like the last 10, 15 minutes.
Hey, look at the bright side. You got to meet necessity before it was no longer an option. Because if you guys did this without meeting necessity, it would have disappeared as a potential random encounter, meaning that if you guys didn't get the mark of necessity, you could no longer get it.
It's fine.
Which
Yeah,
I actually think that means Keta is completely out for being able to get the mark of necessity now.
Unfortunately.
Because I don't think she's
It
ever
is
met
unfortunately the
necessity.
case.
No, because the only ones that did were Brimstone and Morrigan before now. So yeah,
Well,
unfortunately.
And Da Vinci, but that was like the day before.
I mean, also, the fact is, that wasn't done on stream, so I forgot.
Fair.
But yeah, that's fair.
That wasn't done on stream because that would have been a session in of its own right.
Right. Yeah, no, that's fine. I just forgot about it because it wasn't something that we all were there for.
I enjoy closed curtain sessions because it makes sense that no one else would be privy for what happened during those closed curtains.
Yeah, mine was great.
I just had...
And I got stuff out of it. I got paid a lot more than I thought I was, and it was great.
Brimstone.
Also,
I didn't think I was going to be a gigolo today. I'm not complaining though.
yeah, it's basically just like as she's dragging him in the bed, just okay.
I find myself with no reason to oppose this.
But also just the fact of, Atarax is having eyes the whole time, so it's just like now Brimstone's just like, oh.
Just to make a
Gross.
point, he said that he can always find you.
To be
So
fair,
he's always watching you.
no, I know, but it's just for Brimstone the thought of like he could have, and just
Yes. Brimstone just be like, ew.
Even though I feel like Atarax, if he saw that, he'd be like,
I'll check back later.
Yeah, I'll come back later. Why? Because your
Anything-
means of reproduction are disgusting. Then how did you have kids? Magic. Obvious.
Then how did you have kids? I'm a man of science.
Yeah,
that,
my simulacrum. Why would I do
with that context, makes me think that this is actually the perfect time for Brimstone to show everyone an image of Ataraxes. Because this is the one of the few places where he can do that, and Ataraxes isn't going, oh, look, an open invitation.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, he still did go like, oh, look, an open invitation, but he's not going to try to teleport to a location he can't see.
Like he does.
We're just
that-
gonna walk
That
outside,
instantly.
and then all of a sudden Brimstone's gonna be gone. Just, damn it! Found you, you little shit.
No, instead he teleports in. We roll the good old Warhammer scatter dice, and he teleports into a wall.
If he teleported into a wall, he would just proceed to walk out of the wall.
I'm pretty
Probably.
sure for teleportation, if you do, you take force damage as it shunts you sideways.
No. That's like if you have like ethereal movement. Teleport can't teleport you into objects, but it can mishap, which causes force damage.
Wait, well, that's the implication for the mishap.
Oh,
is that you
yeah, I
appear
guess.
inside an object and have to be forced back out of it.
No, okay, that's fair.
But no.
Or if we take the.
But yeah,
out.
just to point something out, Constantly evoking a demon's true name, maybe not the best thing to do if you don't want to get its attention.
Oops. So, sort of humming a tune is like in her mind is like Ataraxis, 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 Ataraxis.
And that's when Failsy just turns to dust. Yeah, just shut up.
That's still one of
Or,
my favorite sound effects. Just the
I forget-
dust explosion sound effect.
I've already forgotten her name. The character you're gonna play for the 20th level one shot, Failsy.
Dualis.
Dualis. Yeah, Dualis just shows up and just crunch.
Stop.
Dualis, you could teleport into the center of the fucking tower and she'd probably survive long enough to lift the entire tower up and throw it.
Dualis is just long.
Basically. Lonk, but masquerading as a
Lowly.
yeah. Masquerading
There's
as
no better way to
either
put it.
as either a young woman or a 6-year-old girl.
Are we good to pick back up?
Are we?
Yeah, I don't know.
Danny?
I think
Okay,
Danny,
Sounds like a no.
Yeah.
Danny's doing bio break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Filthy just humming that in her head and then she just disappears. Or actually, it's just, what do you want?
Oh, hi.
Well, time to watch Dancing Bacon video while waiting for us to get back up and running unless someone has questions for me.
Disintegrate. That's like the idea of Failsy dominating fate, rolling a natural 20, and then Atarax is just like, no. You're not the only one who can influence fate. And I have had millenniums more practice than you.
I wasn't dominating fate. I was invoking the winds of chaos, and all of a sudden she gets the worst one and just sort of creates a black hole.
You've not even nearly seen the worst ones of the table that I roll on.
I don't know what it is, but it's like saying like she just becomes a thermonuclear warhead right in the Atarax's face.
Oh shit.
Oh, speaking of which, you do need to roll of that.
Oh hey everyone, you're so close to me right now.
Oh hey, look at that! The consequences of our own actions. Oh
Well,
boy,
you technically
I didn't know.
you technically do need to roll on that because fate changed.
Oh,
Oh, fair.
did I change fate on necessity somehow?
You don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, I hope you remember how this works. D20, D100.
1d20,
15.
and
One of these days, you're gonna roll lower.
I mean, I think she has a couple of times. She just hasn't rolled, like,
She's
terribly
never
well.
rolled the really interesting ones.
Well, I think duping my pistol is pretty good.
Ah, yes, when your pistol pooped out another pistol.
Yeah.
Roll again because we've done this one before.
Awesome.
And 59.
Okay.
I don't know how extensive this
Why do I want to picture that this is the same table that we've had just random occurrences on? So suddenly one of these is the So, Failsy rolls the Merchant of Necessity appears.
No, that's not one of them. However, Failsy, everything is suddenly dark.
Did I go blind?
No, you're not blind. You can see very lightly around you. As if you did not have dark vision.
Eh! Open my eyes!
You see the world like Da Vinci sees the world right now.
Welcome to my world.
I hate this!
Anyways, the door opens, and before you all, assuming it's everyone back and ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Getting back into things then. As the door swings open, as the hiss of steam releases it, you immediately see in front of the door old blood stains. Just inside the rooms, a couple of skeletons that appear to be deeply scored with cuts into the bones. And the object you all kept seeing before appears to be a rather large cloth doll leaning against the far wall.
Oh, I don't fucking trust that thing.
Can I even see that?
Very lightly now that the light from the room you were previously, or you're currently still technically in, is bleeding into this room. You can just see it.
Da Vinci is going to pull out the dagger and Empia. Boom.
It suddenly is alight with flame, and at that exact moment, your dark vision turns back on, Failsy. It's like you're getting flashbanged.
Oh,
Because the loss of dark vision didn't last very long.
so she's just sort of holding her eyes, going, ha ha ha.
I can't see. Now I see too much.
You okay there?
Ow! Warn me when you're going to do that.
But yeah, you could all
Sorry, but
see
it's difficult for
brightly.
me to see.
Actually, that was probably one of the best parts of that item for Da Vinci to get. He just has an infinite torch now.
Yes, he does.
An infinite torch that he can actually use for big damage.
Dabbing.
Big
Yeah,
damage.
So reaches out for 40 feet bright and 40 additional dim.
I'm not gonna lie, because it's a dagger, I typically reduce the distance to 20/20 to be like a torch.
That's fair.
But it still lights up this whole room for everyone to be able to see.
Yeah, at least what we can see of it.
Like, the room itself already is very dimly lit by some ambient light source you all can't see. So when the torchlight appears, you can make out the details of the room with rather easy detail.
Oh, also, point of order, I would have, during the short rest, Brimstone would have put regular bullets back into the revolver instead of the radiant.
Alright. You reload it with regular bullets.
This is why
Yep.
Fairly only has one perception.
Flashbang.
Flash.
And she didn't even appreciate this one.
I was like, wait, you have multiple perceptions? And +1.
Alright, so, what y'all do?
And it turns out fails, he actually has X-ray vision.
No one would doubt it.
I mean, yeah. That's fair.
My other perception's like a 99. It's for seeing underwear.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Alright, so, what are you guys doing?
I was going to inspect a doll. Ooh, Dolly.
Wait,
Alright, Failsy walks right up to the doll. Alright, go ahead and roll an investigation check, Failsy.
Investigate the thing that's going to kill me in a second.
Investigate this doll while it investigates your organ structure. Gamed.
Uh,
I still have some sunspots in my eyes.
you still have a few sunspots in your eyes, yeah. You look it over. Just looks like a large cloth doll. Probably about 2.5 feet tall if you were to stand it up on its feet.
Oh, okay.
Does it look like the doll that I have in my pack?
It's pretty reminiscent of it, yeah. In the sense that it is a somewhat crudely made cloth doll. But notably, unlike that doll you have in your pack, this one does not have creepy, realistic eyes. It just has no features on its cloth sack face.
Does it have
Uh,
that gem that is on the other one?
You couldn't see the other one. The gem you saw on the other one was underneath, like you had to peel open its torso to see the fact that it had a clockwork bird. The other one already had its torso peeled open. Like, it had previously had cloth on it. To reveal the fact that it had that metal chassis on the inside. But sort of like tapping and poking around this one does seem to have a hard surface inside the chest.
Interesting.
As you all are making your way into this room, though, few things catch your eyes immediately, and notably one thing specifically catches your nose. There is a scent in this room. It mostly faded, but because of the stale air in this room, it's definitely noticeable. This sort of acrid, rotten scent that you can almost taste on the tip of your tongue. The smell of rotting blood. Javinche, you're getting it particularly strongly as you notice that vat next to you appears to be filled with putrid blood.
Oh.
Fucking hell, it smells like charnel house in here.
I don't think Fel's ever smelled rotting blood. Generally, when she finds things, they've been long dead for a couple hundred centuries.
They've been dead long enough that blood is no longer a factor.
Notably, though the blood on the doorway was definitely dried and caked on, the blood you can see around you and on the floor looks still to be dried, but it still has the reddish hue to it almost. And there is still some aspects of flesh clinging to those skeletons.
What the hell happened in here? This room must have sealed itself.
I mean, that doesn't explain why there's a vat of blood and what looks like defleshed corpse bones.
It's a bit of an odd one, but Brimstone, due to your wartime experience, I'd like for you to make a medicine check.
Medicine. Okay.
I'll give you advantage on this one.
Okay. 8.
I mean, you're not a medical professional. Looking around at these bodies, it reminds you of when you've seen people be attacked by beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Like a corpse that's been eaten.
Right, because the claw marks and such. But are any like
something I will give you as well, though?
Okay.
The blood in that vat. You're somewhat familiar with the scent of decay, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You can't place an exact date on it, but you know if for the blood to still be red but to smell rotten like that, it can't be more than 2 to 3 weeks old.
Yeah, this is recent. Not like recent, but within a month.
As macabre as it is to say, leftovers from our impersonator?
And yeah, if necessity specified that it needed to eat them, or if it was like bodies that it killed, I don't remember.
Necessity did specify that it was a fiend akin to an undead that could turn into anyone it had consumed.
Okay, well, if it looks like a person had to eat someone to get that, I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, it is what you say. I mean, looking at the bones, there's claw marks. Does it look like any of the bones have like been cracked open to suck the marrow out?
Go ahead and make another investigation check. And also, Morrigan, I'd like for you to make an insight check.
Insight, okay.
Investigation 24.
All right.
15.
All right. I will resolve these in order rolled.
Mhm.
Brimstone, you're not particularly versed in immediate assessment of medical, but you are a inquisitive sort. You actually start to, as much as someone with a weaker stomach could not, you actually start moving the bones around to inspect them, and you do notice signs of not the bones being cracked open, but these small notches as if a blade was scraped against them and peeled open the top layer of the bone to reveal the insides. Looks to be maybe as if it was the idea that you're thinking of, something scraping into them to get to the marrow, but slightly more sophisticated than just breaking or gnawing at the bones.
Got it.
There are some signs of bite marks.
But there's, I guess it would be really difficult to tell at a glance if it's like from like claw or if it's from like an actual like knife or weapon of the sort.
It looks like a blade.
Right. Okay.
But you've experienced the creatures you're dealing with currently.
Yeah, I also have blade-like talons.
Yeah.
So it could be a natural thing or a... Okay.
Yeah. And Morrigan, as you're just sort of looking over this scene, trying to think about what to do, you can feel a tugging at your back. Like something, not physically, but you can feel the sensation like something's trying to pull you backwards.
What on earth?
Do you let yourself be pulled?
Not without letting the party know what's going on. Like, Brimstone
Then
and
what do you
Javinche would
say?
be the closest. She'd be like, I think there's some weird stuff with my sword might be happening, so just watch out. And then she will let herself be pulled.
You do so. You let yourself drift backwards until there's this sudden weight around you. This heavy, oppressive sensation. As you can feel your lungs fill with water. Until finally you rise up, breaking the surface of the lake you've seen so many times in your vision within the blade. Though it's strange. The water is thick and red. A heavy smell of iron overtakes the normal, peaceful forest scent that you typically find so calming in this place.
Hello?
don't get any response. So you can feel eyes on you.
Aria.
Here.
Who are you?
You can just feel this heavy weight pressing down on you. Almost trying to force you back into the waters. No. The blood you now stand in.
You know my name.
I'm sorry, what?
You know my name.
Oh shit, I think I know. Like, I guess a realization hits her. There's one of two names I think fit you, who you are.
As you have this realization, you look up, and where you can typically see the full moon casting over this beautiful clearing, you just see an eye peering down towards you. Strangely beautiful, just as it is terrifying.
Say it.
Corvinus.
Yes. Oh, it is so good to be known. No, you're pet.
I'm sorry, you cut out during a lot of that.
So you're new pet.
Suppose you could say that.
Sorry for you.
I'm sorry, you keep cutting in and out using that mod. I'm sorry.
Feel sorry for you.
Why is that?
No, the same captor.
You can almost feel as the eye seems to draw closer, though If it's actually getting closer or simply taking up more of the sky, the scale is hard to tell.
Fair enough. Real quick, can you just, without the mod, repeat what was said? I'm sorry, that mod is difficult to understand.
We've both known the same captor.
Ah.
Linus needs subtitles.
Shut up.
I don't know if I'd say captor. What is it you want?
Sate my curiosity. What is your name?
Her, knowing that she has to be careful with this kind of stuff, will just look up at that eye and say, Requiem.
I'd like for you to make a deception check.
13, damn it.
She gave you a new name. It is all the same. Will be lost. Just as I was.
If that's what has to be done to help the world, then so be it.
Help the world. Is that what you think she's doing?
Whether or not it's what she's doing, it's what I want to do.
She'd give you a choice.
I don't even know why you're here.
Because she trapped me and my daughter. Luckily, she got out. That's all she does. Imprison, captivate, break.
So you saw fit to do the same to me then, huh?
Don't wish this upon anything. But I know it will happen as it has so many times.
And as you hear him say that, you watch as the trees around you, normally just these strange but beautiful bending willows, you see contorted and bent faces. People lost to time, though you're not sure for what reason. The expressions you see on their faces are strange, a mixture of adoration, terror, contempt, confusion, uncertainty. You don't know what to make of it.
For all I know, you're trying to trick me.
What purpose? I'm dead. I gain nothing.
For spite? For satisfaction?
There's no satisfaction for a spirit shattered, scattered, broken. I hate many, but I have no reason to hate you.
If you have no reason for it, then why even interfere with me and her?
Because As I said, this
And you can feel somehow your eyes drawn to the trees around you.
is not a fate I wish on any. Sealed, lost to a torturous temptress.
You're lying.
But you believe I can't change that. But I've given you the warning I can.
You watch as the eye above slowly starts to close. If you have any final words, you feel like this may be your last chance.
She's just kind of frozen. So,
May the light of the moon not find you in chains.
This is the final thing you hear before the eye closes fully. And the scene around you fades from this bloody, tortured forest slowly back to the normal blue landscape that you're used to. This momentary memory of a moon-touched glade. Even though the trees around you no longer bear those horrid, twisted visages, you can't help but to see them. In the way the wood grain bends, you can still just make out those expressions. All of a sudden, you feel a hand on your shoulder. That familiar presence you're used to in this place.
he was
Yeah.
lying. He was lying. He was lying. He was lying. He had to have been.
There are no words, but you do feel the hand attempt to squeeze your shoulder as if to reassure you. Though you know this entity has a voice, but it does not raise it. The vision starts to fade around you. Connection unstable. Until you're back in the room where you just were. No longer feeling that strange presence around you. Not but a moment has passed since you told your companions that you were going to see what that feeling was.
Yeah, I don't really know what all did this, but it's got more intelligence than, well, I guess an animal would. And yeah, if you look at the bones, they've been kind of scraped open as opposed to just roughshod broken or bitten through. Get to the marrow inside.
Where could they've gotten these bodies from? Do you think the wasps
I mean,
it bring people here?
either that or this thing can get out, and if it looks like a person, it can just bring another person in here, kill them, eat them, and use that for them to get another body. Might be a self-replicating cycle. I don't know. All I know is that it scraped open with some kind of blade, but whether that's a natural claw or an actual knife, I don't know. And I'm not familiar with this creature beyond the fact it's a fiend. And anything that Necessity said is new information for all of us.
You're obviously coming back to as they're talking about this.
I think your theory there is probably correct that all this is from the leftovers. The why it's keeping the blood, I don't. Maybe it just likes the taste of rotting. Gross.
Whatever it is, we need to hurry up and finish up here.
That's not good.
You okay? You sound a bit different.
I ain't gonna talk about it right now if it's gonna shake you up too much.
I think it's important to be said, though.
Alright.
Corvinus was able to contact me.
Ah, fuck. Fan-fucking-tastic. Let me guess to the sword.
Just what we needed.
Trying to tell me that I'm going to be put in chains by... Fucking liar!
I mean...
Don't let your emotions get to you. There's...
I know, just
Try
give
to
me a
focus on
moment.
the task at hand.
Right.
And we'll talk about all of this once we're out of here. I feel like there's a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Should probably stop using names for things.
Interesting point of
Agreed.
order. Dravinche,
Yes?
Brimstone.
Hmm.
For a second, when you first looked at Morrigan, right around the edges of where her pupils would have been was that rainbow-hued light.
Renche's not going to mention it.
Elsie, what you found over there?
Another clockwork doll. At least I think it's clockwork.
Yeah, it gives you the same sort of feeling as the first doll did, though on a much larger scale. It definitely seems to have solid structures inside all of its limbs, but it's not moving right now.
Peel open its cloth torso.
Does Felsley have a knife on her?
Yes.
Then yeah, you could cut the cloth on its torso to pop it open. As you do so, you immediately notice that the inside of this thing, what should be clockwork, has been completely gummed with flesh.
Ah, Jesus, fuck. I don't even know what that means.
Why would you do this?
Oh,
Like you, yeah, it's like you just opened the door to a fully packed meat locker that is not turned on.
Hmm.
The
That is
smell
unpleasant.
of rancid meat just hits you.
That is unpleasant.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I don't want this doll anymore.
Elsie, do me a favor, check the hands. At least one of them.
I take a look at the hands.
Alright, it doesn't have hands. The arms just sort of have Sackboy-esque quality. They sort of end in bulbs.
No hands here.
Yeah, I know, but they got holes in them near the ends.
I check the Sackboy hands.
You don't see any holes, but you do notice as you're like turning the arm around, which by the way, it's like very rusty and hard to move. Like you all hear this noticeable just whine every time Failsy moves one of its limbs. But there's like a flat piece of metal on the inside.
Do I have any?
And just make a sleight of hand check for me as you're moving it around.
Okay. So, hidden blade. Should I get a belt out and just bind its hands? Okay.
You don't think its clockwork can move right now?
Too blocked up.
Sleight of hand. I'm kind of good at that one.
All right, do it then.
On the face. Oh no, 20.
All right.
Nice.
You do actually manage to avoid the blade as it slides out of the cloth.
Ah,
As you try to
fucking
move its No, it's not like it aggressively slides out of the cloth. It's like as Failsy tries to move the arm by grabbing the cloth, the blade just sort of slices through the cloth.
It doesn't change Brimstone's response.
Fair enough.
I fucking knew it.
Fred's gonna take a piece of cloth out of her. Take some. I don't know. Does she have a belt?
No, I don't think Failsy has belt, unless you want to start using pieces of your Dark Souls clothes or your Bloodborne clothes.
Take a belt from my Bloodborne outfit and just bind its arms together.
All right, it's just a distinct as you move the arms into a position where you could even remotely come close to binding them with the belt.
She does a sort of.
And as you do so, more of the cloth gets tore away by the just moving of this thing, and the cloth's very delicate nature compared to the internal structures, much more sturdy if rusted nature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gone.
As you bind it, all of the cloth more or less tears away to reveal this structure.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Is filled with flesh.
Yeah. Almost as if something was using it like a meat locker. With the cloth that was around it was just hastily sewn on top of it.
That's fucking disgusting. And at least it's gummed up enough that it can't, come alive, I hope.
And notably, Failsy, since you were looking at the other one, the internal anatomy of this creature, for whatever you could describe as anatomy for a creature like this, you look to where that core slot was in the other one, and this one is missing a core. Instead, there is actually like a literal heart shoved in that location.
Huh. Yeah. I don't think I'd be trying to activate this one. This one can be
yeah.
BDSM this one up and then throw it down a hole or something.
Yeah, I
Maybe a
don't.
hole. You all notice there's a giant hole in this room.
Yeah, I see this big hole over here.
Well, if I had to guess, we got a couple more rooms in here. But it's probably the way that we got to go down in order to, get down to the last floor.
I think we're out of.
Da Vinci, are you opening that jar?
Yes. Trying to
Alright.
distract himself from this
Alright, you
ghastliness of a meat locker.
And there is thousands of eyeballs.
No, but in fact, as you open the lid of that particular jar, you just see flesh. It appears to be many, many livers.
Just open it up, one glance, immediately close. No.
Actually, far a better smell, if only because it smelled like vinegar.
Oh, they're preserved. Ugh. Just revenge check.
The smell of strong vinegar is far better than the smell of rotting flesh.
True.
Oh, good. It's pickling livers.
Revenge check.
Somewhere you hear a drum beat. Just.
I think you should do yourself a favor and don't look at anything else in here. It's all gonna be fucked up.
Yeah.
In any case, we should probably just leave this fucking thing here. For all we know, this thing doesn't know we're still here, and I'm sure dropping that thing down a fucking hole is gonna make a whole lot of racket.
Can I do a cursory inspection on the fallen little eaten people? How intact are their heads?
I definitely been gnawed on. The back of the head is slightly caved open, where it looks like the brain was extracted. But if you're looking at it for the sake of something akin to a speak with dead spell, they do still have a jaw. Though, interestingly enough, it appears their teeth have been removed.
I don't know that spell.
Well, I was saying, I assume that's why you would ask. But yes, the back of their skulls are cracked open, large enough you would assume for a brain to come out, and all of their teeth are gone.
Where'd they take the teeth?
Calcium?
Or trophies?
And it's
Wouldn't
not
What?
not like they're gonna barter with that teeth.
I mean, it wasn't exactly uncommon for some of the weirdos that we've fought in the war. Some of them would take teeth of soldiers as a trophy, wear them like necklaces.
Yeah.
Wasn't common enough, but well, that makes it sound like I wanted it to be more common.
Dravinche, that door you're
Happened
looking at appears to have a sigil on it.
He'll take a closer look at the sigil.
It looks a bit like a clock face, but with 12, 3, 6, and 9 raised slightly.
There's another door over here, and it seems to have some form of puzzle to it.
I fucking hate puzzles. Well, depends. The ones where you gotta put something together to make like a model or something, those are pretty fun.
I will
There's
say,
like
just what's Dravince's intelligence score?
His intelligence score is 14.
Right. Just at a cursory glance, you can tell that this is probably arcane in nature somehow.
Before he starts pushing things randomly, is there a roll I can make to at least gain a bit of an understanding about how the
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. 11.
Well, there are no buttons to push on this door. There just appears to be an arcane glyph on the front of it that has something that is akin to a clock face with 4 slots on it.
So just so I understand, there's a glyph of a clock, and each quarter there is a raised
Like
portion?
raised in the sense that there is like an additional symbol there. You don't know what the symbol means, but it seems to be purposefully drawn in such a way to draw attention to it.
Okay, what does it mean?
I honestly don't know, other than that these are the positions 12 or noon, 3, 6, and 9. Jervin, you're gonna look back at the book, see if there's any mention of this door.
Alright, make an investigation check. Let's see if you can find anything useful. Alright, 16 beats the DC of 15 for this thing to get a clue.
Yay!
You look at the strange text and writing in this book, and somehow your eyes make sense of it. The Clockwork Soldier was definitely something quite difficult to trifle with. I'm glad we won't have to deal with it again, given my allies' ability to dismantle it rather rapidly. This door here seems to be of particular interest, though. Sealed differently than the rest we've encountered on this floor thus far, though not dissimilar to the previous room we'd had to visit through to reach this point. I believe it is also likely locked via some form of arcane absorption, though I don't currently have the power within me to waste spending on such a thing. Hopefully we'll find another way around to egress through this pathway, or mayhap we will rest and collect ourselves for later.
The most I can gain is that cloth is a clockwork soldier that was dismantled.
And it was more than just dismantled, it was unstuffed with people. But yeah, fair.
You get the sense from how this person's writing, Dravince, when they say dismantled, they probably mean they just beat the out of it.
Yeah,
So stop
I
moving.
figure.
They just seem to have a very flowery way of writing.
But as for this, the most it can be gathered is that the symbols have some form of arcane absorption. Potentially, if magic is shot at it, something will happen. I'm not 100% sure.
Don't look at me.
Da Vinci will try to cast Shocking Grasp on at the on the 12 symbol.
All right. You touch the symbol in the place of where 12 would be, and cast Shocking Grasp. The spell does not go off, but you actually watch as the symbol starts to light up, and then fades.
Maybe
Yep.
I mean, maybe it needs like a stronger magic.
It does, but I'm not sure we can spare the resources.
I guess.
Because Failsy heard the word magic and started moving forward.
Yeah, Fails just magic. I like that.
Smell magic. What's going on?
I smell. Yeah, she hears the shocking grass, doesn't think about it, and then she just the thing absorbs it, and she's like, "I smell sorcery. I smell the arcane."
No,
Failsy and
Fail-
Mordegon.
Da Vinci is just.
Sorry.
Da Vinci is just going to give a quick verbal rundown.
Yeah.
Of the situation.
Yeah, so as he gives his verbal rundown, you can also see this same symbol that he's been messing with. Again, this object, which appears to be a spoked circle with these very specific 12 spokes. The topmost one seems to be almost raised slightly, in the fact that it seems to be more prominent. The rightmost one, the bottommost one, and the leftmost one are also raised in a similar fashion.
Can I Arcana check or
You could attempt an Arcana check, yeah.
see if I can dust off any more information out of this? Might need. We've had similar absorption doors before, and they required high level magic, not just the right type.
Alright, so roll an Arcana check.
Arcana, 15.
Yeah, you get that idea as well. It's likely you would need to, metagame-wise, cast a leveled spell on the door. Like, you've witnessed these before in your travels where more powerful incantation-type magic will cause them to absorb the arcane magic you summon forth, the power of elsewhere itself, to power these long dead mechanisms.
It looks like you need a not significantly more powerful form of magic than what you were just casting.
I don't think we can spare that.
I mean,
Yes.
no, wait, never mind. Gonna be like, well, I mean, I can turn something invisible. Maybe that'll work, but I can't. I think I can only cast that on living creatures. I can't put it on a door.
Technically speaking, you can only cast Shocking Grasp on a creature as well.
Yeah, Brimstone doesn't know that.
I might be able to do something.
I mean, that's up to you, Morgan.
Well, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, we don't know what's behind this door, and it's either this door or that hole.
I mean, might be a good idea to make sure nothing is up here that could come down whenever we finally find that thing to attack from behind while we're fighting that.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen what's on the other side of this door already?
I don't think so.
You don't know. You don't know where you are in relation to everything right now because you don't actually have a map.
Yeah, we don't have a map, one, and two, the only time we had even the availability to see what's inside this area was when we were panicking and running from chain lightning over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like
Which is-
opened up for a split second.
Yep.
Which is why in-game character-wise, never seen this door before, don't know where it leads. Just all we know is that it's one of two options that we have to get out of this room.
Okay, well, since Shocking Grasp was able to work, Morrigan's just going to put her hand on the same symbol that Da Vinci had and cast... Huh? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Shocking Grass didn't work.
I mean,
It started to light up, but did not light up.
that's what I was
Since it
talking
was a
about.
reaction, though.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure that was understood.
Yeah, I was meaning like just it reacted.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
No worries. She's gonna use her... Pardon me. One a day she gets of darkness because tiefling.
Alrighty then.
Fair. And
Good,
you
good.
Can
Could you
cast
roll for me
that
a
on-
d6?
A d6?
Yes. Perfect.
What level of magic is this? Is this a...
Second level.
Yeah, it's a level 2 spell.
Yep.
But, Morrigan, as you start to summon forth your racial ability to bring forth magical darkness onto an area, you can feel as the incantation, as it starts to flow from your blood, as all racial magic does, it is pulled into the door, and you watch as 2 of the 4 symbols, boom, and then something weird happens. That same feeling, that rush of feeling that the magic flowing through your blood itself, and everyone can see this as the veins on Morrigan's arm that she's touching the door with suddenly light up with that rainbow energy, and the other 2 symbols, boom, boom, and then it fades, and the door opens.
Interesting.
And you all can see this room beyond.
Oh no.
Interestingly enough, the blades in this room, though you see them, are not turning.
Da Vinci points to the opposite side of the gear. That's the gear over there. That's the large room that launched lightning at us.
What a guy.
Right.
That felt weird, but it didn't hurt. It was like that weird sort of tingly sensation that you get on your tongue when you lick a 9-volt battery,
Yeah.
but it's in your arm.
She's just kind of flexing her hand.
It was uncomfortable, but it made you feel powerful for a second.
Well,
Like, she actually, though, looks scared at that.
did you mean to do that, Morrigan, or did that just happen?
It just happened. I was just casting dark... What the hell?
Okay. We can figure that out later, I guess, but
Yeah.
maybe you should limit your spell casting. We don't know if that might end up having a backfire.
Yeah, fair.
Good thing you're good with a sword.
Yeah.
You, interestingly enough, and I'll say this, because you rolled high enough on your insight previously. Whatever that sensation was, you do not feel it in your body anymore.
Oh.
Once it got used, it seemed to leave you.
I think it's gone, actually. No, but caution doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever be so cautious with my magic. I might die.
I mean, to be fair, Failsy, you don't really have the martial training we do.
And besides, I can't do near as much in a day as you can. I already have to be cautious with my magic.
Well, I think unless they want to start messing with symbols and risking that thing trying to come and cut our heads off, I don't think there's necessarily anything we're going to be discovering in here.
Point of order. The symbols are lit up because I can't turn them off on the map, but they're not lit up.
Right.
This room appears to be dead.
Okay. Okay, so I guess amending the statement is just, well, I don't see anything in here immediately, but I don't know. I don't really want to be messing with anything.
Since you're stepping forward, do you want a perception check?
Certainly. Nat 20.
Perfect. Literally. As good as you could be. Natural 20. You notice that this room does seem to be dead. You've noticed previously that all of these symbols, the ones you know essentially read as stop. When they've been lit up before, they are active, but once they turn off and stop glowing, they no longer have a purpose because they've already turned off whatever device they're meant to turn off. Notably, though, the center platform of this room has a large slot in it.
Brimstone,
What?
could you show me that key you and Failsy found?
Found the key.
Yes, he found a key.
Oh, yeah, the key. The
Yeah,
the
that
thing.
weird
The key.
clockwork rod you found.
Yeah, the key. Yeah, I definitely didn't forget that was a thing. Yeah, fucking
The
take
key,
it.
the clockwork key, the key for clockwork.
Yeah,
Clockwork.
Key that we
key.
found in the clockwork.
Altia's key.
Cusco's poison.
Alright. So
I hate the fact that that sounds right to my ears, but it's too high pitched to everyone else's.
No, it sounds right to me.
Yeah, sounded good.
that was a cool
Oh, weird.
awkward key.
Da Vinci,
Yeah.
with your natural 20, that could definitely fit in that hole.
Just give me a minute. I want to explore something.
Okay, but if those cut your head off, it's not my fault.
Up.
I'm just gonna stand.
Did you give him the key, or are you just going to it?
Failsy gave him the key.
That was gave him the key. She's just gonna
Yeah.
get it.
She's
Okay.
just gonna stand from the sidelines and observe like a good researcher.
Gotcha.
She
Yeah.
might be in the flash zone, but you risk what you must.
Yeah.
Like
You
I said,
look at-
like a good researcher.
You have that about foot-long clockwork rod in your hand, and looking at it and looking at this keyhole, definitely looks like it could fit.
Okay, Da Vinci is going to pointedly place his feet in a position where it's not going to be hit by the arms if they suddenly decide to spin up.
Yeah, you are standing on the ridge that, like, kind of how the one necessities room had that top ridge that you could stand on.
Yeah.
This one also has that same sort of raised ridge that the blades are protruding out of. So you can stand on top of that ridge and be safe from them.
And he's going to insert the key and turn it.
Point of order. As you start inserting the key, it gets pulled out of your hands as the clockwork in the key clicks with the clockwork in the lock and just pulls it inside the lock.
Oh. Okay.
You actually notice as the back part of the key perfectly slots and fills the keyhole. And you just hear the clicking and whirring sounds for a moment before the portion of the dais there that is actually sectioned off slides outward slightly. As if you could pull it open.
Okay. Da Vinci will. I guess basically, if I'm mentally picturing this correctly, grab basically the butt of the key, which is now locked into place, and pull it up.
No, there is, like, the key is now flush with the door. Like, the key is now flush with what would be this drawer. But the drawer popped out enough that you could grab the lip of the drawer and pull it open.
Oh, okay. So you just slide it open.
He'll open up the. He'll lift it up.
Yeah, you pull it open. So you pull it open, and you notice two things on the inside. A small box, and another small rod. Similar in size to the clockwork rod itself. Though notably, this one seems to have, rather than how the clockwork rod had flat ends with gear work on each side, this one has a sort of almost chiseled, puffy metal on each side.
Could you describe the two items again?
The box, it just appears to be an ornate box. You're not sure what's on the inside, though it is latched closed currently. It does not have a lock on it. The rod appears to be a carved and inlaid metal rod. Seems to be made of, you believe it would be silver at a glance, and has these almost white metal caps on the end that look a little bit like cotton balls almost, with how they're carved. Sort of have that bumpy texture to them. Almost like clouds.
Vinci is going to pick up the rod.
Right?
And attempt to pull one of the ends to see if anything happens.
It twists slightly. You can't pull it out, but you notice that it seems to twist.
He's going to pick up the box and then hop back to a place where he's got more stable footing.
All right, as you hop, you don't land again. You're just floating in the air.
What the fuck?
You all watch as Vinci just sort of floats in the direction of his jump. I was moving you. He sort of just floats in the direction of his jump, smacks against this wall, and you can, like, move yourself down it.
Yeah, he's, still floating a bit in the air, going to retwist the rod.
Alright, you feel as gravity suddenly overtakes you again. And you watch as a small little bar that you hadn't noticed on the side of the rod seems to drain slightly.
Huh.
Huh.
So it's like some kind of rod of levitation or some shit? I don't fucking know.
Brimstone calls it.
Seems like that.
It's literally called a rod of levitation.
I mean, that seems useful if someone falls or to get down the hole.
Well,
I don't know. What's in the box?
So found this rod and also found this box. And he's going to try opening the box.
Alright. You open the little... It has like one of those little hook latches. You flick it open and open the top of it. And you just see a small, very interesting depiction of a golden-haired woman standing on a stage. As the lid of the box is open, you hear a as something suddenly pokes out the side of the box.
Well, whatever popped out of the box.
You go to pull on it, you can't. It seems to not pull out, but twist.
Morgan's gonna try to get a look at it.
Motogun, it's not hard for you to notice as you see a very beautiful, albeit somewhat stylized due to small scale, carving of Arya. It looks like a music box. The thing Da Vinci is currently trying to pull out of it looks like a winding key.
Stop pulling it. Wind it. That's a music box.
Yeah.
Vinci will wind it.
Yeah.
My ma has one.
Yeah, looking at it, yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure Keto's got a few.
Right? You wind it up and up and up, and eventually the key stops winding and pulls itself back into the box. And you all just start to hear this beautiful melody of both these gentle tinkling sounds that you would associate with the music box, the gentle pinstrikes, as well as a voice coming out of it. Just a very gentle, just... Obviously not exactly that, because I'm not a singer, but...
Right.
And now I have to check something.
I didn't think these things actually would have voice.
They don't normally do.
Well, it's time to roll some dice.
I don't even think Keto had any of those that could do that.
Why would something with Arya in it be in this place for Altea?
Maybe they had some kind of connection that we haven't found out anything about yet.
Possibly.
It wouldn't surprise me necessarily. Both of them were put in situations by people that weren't them.
I hate to ask this, but who is the lowest HP right now?
Oh, not me.
Maybe.
I'll just type mine into the game chat so we can just compare.
For mechanical reasons, I need to know what your actual HP score is right now, so it's fine that everyone wants to put theirs in.
Failsy by 1, I have 42.
Right.
I've got lots of health.
Alright. Failsy, as you're listening to the beautiful melodic sounds of this music box, you can't help but suddenly feel yourself overcome with drowsiness as you fall asleep
Oh, Jesus.
right where you stand. You all watch as Failsy suddenly just slumps over and starts snoring.
Ah, shit.
Maybe shut the lid on that thing real quick. I think that's how you stop.
Usually.
And the lid be shut at this point?
Yeah, you could close the lid.
Congratulations, people, you found Failsy's off switch.
Oh, I figured it was just excessive violence.
Found out how to make Failsy take nap.
Alright, so I'm going to give you all some notes for these items.
Okay.
Rod of Levitation. It has 3 charges. Rod recharges 1d4 charges every day at dawn. When the rod is used by twisting one of the ends, it lessens the effects of gravity in a given area, allowing one to move through the air as if they were moving through water.
Oh, okay.
The golden-haired music box. This ornate music box plays a beautiful song. Anyone affected anyone able to hear it, that moment when you need to make your own notes clearer. Alright. Anyone within 15 feet of it when the music box plays is subjected to the sleep spell, rolling 14d8 to determine the amount of HP that can be put to sleep.
That's why you asked to at the lowest HP. That makes sense.
Yeah, because with the roll I
It's
did, it
just
couldn't put you.
lowest.
It could not put you all. It could not put multiple of you to sleep, but it would have probably definitely put one of you to sleep.
Now, and it did.
Is it a once per day thing or?
Yes, it is once per day.
Okay.
Yeah, it can cast sleep once per day, but with the stipulation that 14 d8 are rolled, and the target does not automatically wake up after 1 minute. It literally puts them to sleep.
Trinche is going to close the box.
Brimstone just nudges Failsy with his foot.
She's pretty out of it.
Oh, come on. We just had a rest.
If we're going to wake her up, one of you should do it. If I hit her, it'll do a bit more damage.
You could slap someone awake without doing any damage. It's just taking an action to wake them up.
Okay. Just-
Was that like Brimstone can't hold back? It's like, if I hit her, I'm going to break her face in.
It was
If
more
I must
mechanic.
strike Failsy, it will be true.
No, it was more of I have a higher strength mod.
Yeah, you stir her awake.
Yeah, I'll use my action to wake her up.
Failsy, you suddenly wake back up from the nap you decided to take.
Yeah. Why, like, hand raised the gas spell, like, who the fuck?
Just more.
I was dreaming of Jamel.
Thinking, Failsy wakes up. Oh, I'm still here.
Damn it. I was hoping it was a dream within a dream.
Sorry.
Why am I here?
But yeah.
Okay, so
That was another
Don't-
case of items I didn't know if you guys would get.
don't play the music box.
Well, at least not when it's just the group of us, unless we want to actually take a nap.
I will say this. It was a round after you'd winded the key before the music box started playing. It was a little
fair.
bit of time passed.
Yeah,
It wasn't literally just one round.
So in other words, we could wind it, set it down, run.
run.
Or you don't even necessarily have to run away from it. You weren't super paying attention to how much time it took for it to start playing. It took
That's
a
fair.
couple of seconds. Mechanically, you can set it to either go off. You can either set it to go off after a round or after a minute has passed.
Okay.
Well, anyways, I mean, I guess that'll be useful if we really need it, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really useful right now. So, well,
In the
Anyways.
meantime, we got some fortuitous luck, and let's keep moving.
I mean, the other way is trying to shut down the chain lightning, which I'm not really looking forward to, and This is a door, but it's closed, right?
No, it's open right now.
Oh, just well. Actually, looking at it, we won't even have to go back through that way. We can
I
just
just
head back
forgot to
through there.
mark that door.
Yeah, that's fine. It looks like we can probably
Something really
head back
random you
through
guys
it.
did a while ago opened that door. I don't remember
Looks like-
exactly what it was.
We can probably just head back through that way and skip the chain
Yeah.
lightning altogether.
Yeah, like the sigil that you thought turned off the chain lightning the first time actually shut off this chamber.
Oh, fair.
Oh,
Well, we still need to figure out how to get where we're supposed to be going.
Oh, that's easy.
I mean,
Down the
the only
bottom.
way. Yeah, the only way down is through that hole in the gore room.
yeah, let's
Fortunately, we don't
ready
really have
ourselves.
we don't really have like a convenient anchor to anchor anything down to. Really,
Can I pump this down the hole?
I'd rather you
Please.
didn't.
Please don't.
I mean, actually move that thing, Filzy, you'd need to make a strength check. And your crowbar can't help you with it.
Just picks up crowbar, shoves it underneath to just roll it.
It's not rollable.
Uh,
Its
Okay.
limbs are flailed out in too many directions.
No, if it was a convenient like hand truck, then we'd have a different story there. But
I'm sure it's suitably BDSM'd up, so I can't pull its knives out on us later.
I mean, I don't.
It's also
Uh,
completely unable to move from the amount of flesh packed between its gears.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that thing's.
And also its
Well,
lack of an
sure.
animation core.
Well, I don't know if the flesh would just override and try and necromancy itself back together.
You don't get the sense.
So,
I don't want to think about that.
yeah.
The DM is telling you that that thing's not a threat.
Anyway,
It's just meant to be there to look scary.
To be fair, it was very satisfying to get the. I fucking knew it.
anything in these crates? Or these crates openable?
Yeah.
You pry them open. Full of bones and teeth.
Nah, that's where the teeth went. That's a lot of fucking
Interestingly
teeth.
enough, more teeth than there are bones.
That's a
Far more teeth than there should be.
disturbing amount of teeth.
Okay.
I don't want to think about it.
Same.
Last thing in the room that we can take a look at is these things over here.
I don't think
If-
you actually want to look at them.
Okay, well, if I was a betting man, there's probably more organs.
Okay. So,
It seems like
Okay.
whatever the otherworldly thing this is, it seems to like being organized. Livers in one jar, teeth in a box, bones in another. I would imagine, and he just points stomach, heart, kidneys, and brains. I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
I mean, if it's an agent of my father, he's kind of meticulous about shit. I guess it would make sense.
does one of these things contain brain?
You're so curious.
Because she wants to
Maybe.
consume them.
I mean, you could look, but we are going to be stopping pretty now because past midnight.
Yeah.
So as you all are looking over the precipice leading further downwards, like a great maw opening up into darkness, which Morrigan can see down, and she can see a platform at the bottom of it because it's less than 120 feet down.
Further than 60.
That is where we are going to end for tonight.
There's a platform
listen.
down there. Okay, let's all jump.
No.
Whee!
No, jump.
Woo!
So yes, send the person who can't see what they're doing down the black hole.
Just the critical scream, just whoa! Where it just vanishes from existence.
Oh god, okay.
I was
Oh,
trying to move us towards the end point here, trying to get you guys to progress forward. Sorry, if you wanted to investigate the boxes more.
well, we got a late.
If you're that curious, yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say we did get a late start, and a thing happened.
Yeah. That's been
Here's
brewing
thing.
for a little while.
A few things happened.
That's been brewing since you guys picked up the sword.
Oh,
Wait, what thing? Oh, yeah.
so it's because I have hour and minute, isn't it?
No, the other sword. The sword everyone seems to keep forgetting
Corvanus.
about.
Corvanus is
Oh,
the
the
sword.
Corvanus
Art,
sword.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the one
sword
that
that are.
Failsy's got.
Yeah,
Fails- Is it
the one that
Failsy's
Elway
the one?
punched Arya for.
Failsy's carrying that though. Why is it affecting Morrigan?
Because it's
you
more
have,
interested in you.
because you have a direct connection to Corvanus in the Moonlit Arya.
Yeah, the person who trapped him and sealed him and made him die, made him able to die.
I'm sure it'll affect Failsy eventually too.
Yeah, Mona
Nope.
figures out, hey, you could bring me back somehow.
Yeah, as soon as Corvanus is like, wait a minute. You're
Actually-
related to me.
For reasons I won't explain, it actually can't affect Failsy.
Because she's related.
Insert several layers of failsy fuckery here.
Honestly,
That's
probably.
Not even Failsy fuckery. Someone else did fuckery.
Corvanus is just afraid of Failsy. Actually, just like, I'm a chaotic motherfucker, but this bitch crazy.
Okay. But anyway,
Teenager scared. Teenager scared the living shit out of me.
anyhow, we have made some more progress. We found some cool things. A scary happened.
I made this room as threatening as possible for having no actual danger in it.
That's fair. Well, a mental scary happened. To only
Morgan
one
got
character.
Terrified.
Yeah.
Morgan got terrified. Brimstone got pissed off.
Failsy got sleepy.
Failsy got
Is
sleepy.
confused and got
And
sick.
and Dravinci hit a wall.
But found cool things.
I'm really glad you guys found those items, because they make this part of the dungeon better.
Fair. Anyways, we need to be leaving.
Yeah. Before we do, does anybody have anything they need to or want to announce, shout out, or promote?
Not for me.
I would like to promote myself, but my job doesn't give me the rights to do that.
Aw. If only they did.
I would make all of the money.
Yeah.
You could promote yourself to customer.
But then I would be losing money.
But the customer is always right.
No, they're
No.
not. No, they're not. The customer doesn't know what the fuck they want.
Failsy, I have one response to that.
No.
See, when even the evil chaos dragon god thing is disagreeing with you. And he likes being wrong.
But, alright, well, if, like, not even anything cool you guys saw over the week that you want to just recommend people check out?
No, not really.
I have not witnessed many a thing this week.
Fair enough. So, I guess with that, we all just, say goodnight.
Sleep well.
Good night.
Creepy Chaos Dragon Man aside, yes. Good night, everybody. We'll see you when we see you next.